Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah by Hashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect, hearing this word in truth and sincerity. So this is just going to be a response, to these Israelite women, saying that Esau is not the white man, but Bible prophecy proves that the so-called white man is Esau. But before I get started in this lesson, I want to get Proverbs 9:13. It says, a foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. And that's why the scriptures says right here, in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter and the 34th verse. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 33. It says, for the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches. And the common thing within Israelites is that they want to save the so-called white man Esau. So they'll go to lengths of saying that he's not the white man. They'll go to lengths of saying that everybody can make it, Gentiles can be saved, and that's all an effort, to get Esau, to give Esau mercy, But the scriptures lets you know, over and over and over again that, the Most High hates Esau, and concerning love, he has nothing to do with Esau, man. So these Israelites, these women, and these effeminate men, that is trying to save Esau, they're pretty much coming against the scriptures. They're coming against the Lord, because the Lord made it known clearly that Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. So what they're doing is just an effort to save Esau, man. Okay, but it says 34. Because look, if the so-called white man is not Esau, then that means that he ain't got to pay for all the shit that he's done. Because the scripture talks about the judgment of the Lord coming upon Esau, man. All right. So you can't get Esau out of his punishment, man. 1 Corinthians 14:34. It says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them that to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law, right? And women are to keep silence. All right, period, man. Because when they speak, they'll speak out of emotions, thus bringing in confusion. Verse 35, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. If you have husbands, he's supposed to be teaching you the scriptures if you want to know something. You know what I'm saying? Not you, voicing your, speaking abroad, man. It says, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. And if you do have husbands, this is a shame unto him. Because what that shows is that, he doesn't have any order in his household. That's if you have husbands, man. All right, because, Eve, they're pretty much feminists, with head wraps on and are saying shalom. They don't really believe in what the scriptures is really saying, man. This is just another thing, another, fad to them. That's why when the tribulation come, those kind of Israelites are going to be the first one to pull back from saying that they're Israelites, man. But without further ado, I wanted to get into the lesson, showing you that prophecy proves that the so-called white man is Esau, okay? And the first scripture that I wanted to get is the book of Job, the 9th chapter and the 24th verse, which is a very basic scripture to show you that what the wicked has done is exactly what the so-called white man did, when they came back in power, chiefly during the Renaissance period. Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And who is the wicked according to the Bible? Well, simply go to Malachi, the 1st chapter, right? And the 4th verse, it says, whereas Edom, matter of fact, verse 3, it says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So yes, God hates a certain people on this planet. There's a certain nation on this planet that God hates. That nation is Esau, man. God hates and he loves. Okay. Verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And of course we know that the Roman Empire fell for a period of 1,000 years, and eventually the Edomites would come back into power, all right, during the Renaissance period, man. I want to say the 1300s, going into the 1400s, man. That's when they were coming back and setting themselves up in power, all right. But we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, right? Because all this is leading to the return of Yahushua, who when he returned, he's going to throw down this whole kingdom, this whole society, all right? They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. You see, the Edomites are the border of wickedness, man. Anywhere they go, they bring wickedness with them, all right? Which is right now, when you look at these other nations, what are they doing? They're doing the wickedness, all right, that came from America, man, that stemmed out of America. Case in point, the homo agenda, all right, that's Esau's bullshit, man. But these other nations, they've drinking up that wine, and they're doing, all right, what they see Esau is doing. You see, so he's the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the Lord is going to always and forever have indignation against the nation of Edom, all right. So going back to Job 9 and 24, Job chapter 9 and verse 24, it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, the wicked, once again, we've just read that the wicked is Esau, Edom. Okay, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein who is he? All right, and once again, it's common knowledge now that when the so-called white people came in, were coming into power, they did what was called iconoclasm. Chipping the noses off of different statues, painting their likeness over the dark images, and to go even deeper, they've covered the faces, meaning that they've covered the true understanding of the scriptures, all right, with their quote unquote white lies, man. Saying that Yahweh and Yahushua are so-called white people. The angels are naked white babies. All right, the Israelites, the prophets, all right, the men of the Lord, all right, were so-called white men, which was all blasphemy. All right, because beginning with our Lord Yahweh, Yahushua, and the Israelite men, were the true judges, all right, of the earth. All right, we're the true judges, period, man. And when Esau came in power, he covered all that, man. He covered from the images down to the true understanding of the scriptures. He's covered all that. No other nation did this but the so-called white race. Okay? And concerning the first part of this verse, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. There's a picture of, these different companies, all right, and it's like entertainment industries with the name of the CEOs, which are all so-called white Jewish men, showing you that these people are the one that control everything. And that's why when you say, that they do it, what they do, they call you anti-Semitic, because they don't want that knowledge of them running everything out there, because they want to run things in the darkness, so to speak, But it's common knowledge now that the so-called white man is the one that runs everything, man. They have the control of everything, man, from the food you eat, the TV you watch, the music you listen to. All that is controlled by the so-called white man. All right, without a shadow of a doubt, man. Okay. So from there on, we just getting prophetic scriptures showing you that the Edomites are the so-called white people. Okay. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 7. And it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth, man? So Esdras is inquiring of the Lord, when is going to be the end of this first age, all right, and the beginning of the next, because, according to Daniel 7, the Lord would give four beasts, which the beast represents, kingdoms or rulership, he would give them a time to rule. And the end of that beast would be the Roman Empire, the fourth beast. It says, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, and that was all symbolic to the so-called white man being the end of the world. And the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who are the Israelites, being the beginning of the next world. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau would be the end of the world, all right, before the return of who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. All right. Before his return, the ones that would be in rulership would be Esau. All right, the Edomites. And the scripture to prove that Esau would be in rulership when the Messiah returned. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 63. All right, because this shows you that he's coming to see Esau. He says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So the Lord is coming to a world ruled by Edom. It don't say another nation, right? It don't say Moab or Ammon. It says Edom. All right, because he's coming down here, to overthrow America, man, and the rest of Esau's, structure wherever he set up at. That's all going down, man. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. Because when Yahweh shall return and throws Esau's kingdom down, he's gonna set up the throne of David, and his kingdom here on earth, which the throne of David is the kingdom, man. Which means what? Subjection of the heathen nations, all right, under the nation of Israel. Okay. So from that point on, let's go to the book of Isaiah 34. As a matter of fact, before I go to Isaiah 34, I wanted to get this. I wanted to get this in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary too, man. Because according to prophecy, or in the scriptures, Esau is not going to receive any mercy from the Most High. And these scholars, these Bible scholars, they know that. But it's the everyday person that don't know what's going on. All right, so, continuing on, I wanted to get this out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, where it talks about Edom, okay? And how it says that Esau, Edom, will not receive any mercy from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying earlier, the people that put this book together, they understand this, It says, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments, and that's pretty much what the lesson was going into. That prophecy proves that the so-called white man, all right, is Esau, okay? Because they're pretty much doing what the scriptures say that Esau would be doing. It says, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgments, and it gives you scriptures, right? See notably Isaiah 34 and 5. And 6, Isaiah 63 and 1, and it says, she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. And that's scriptural. In the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, it tells you how the lives of the beasts were prolonged for a time, and they're prolonged to serve the Israelites, whereas the fourth beast is going to be utterly destroyed. The fourth beast being the Roman Empire is going to be utterly destroyed when Yahweh shall return. The Edomites too, they're going to be utterly destroyed. They're going to be exterminated. When their 1,000 years of captivity is over, they're going to be done away with. But this is Isaiah 63 and verse, I'm going to go to 1 again. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. All right, this is talking about Yahweh Shah. When he returned, he's coming back to a world ruled by the Edomites. All right, and once again, we understand who runs the world. The so-called white man. They have control of everything right now. Matter of fact, a quick scripture I want to get is the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Your beds being your comfort, or in this case is their rulership. They're in their rulership and they devise iniquity within this rulership. They work evil within this rulership, man. Why? Because it's in the power of their hands, like I'm about to read. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, going into the elites. All right, the nobility of Esau, man. The earth is really in their hands. They control everything. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and the rest of those rich Edomite families. They have the control of the earth right now. And that further proves that they're Esau. All right. You see how they're trying to claim being Jacob being the Jews, but the prophecies, there's no prophecy that say that Jacob would be in rulership during the heathen rulership, man. It's just not in here. Like I said, like I read, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob would be in a separate rulership, or than the heathen, or a separate age, But let's go to Isaiah 34. Look at that scripture. Isaiah 34 and verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is pretty much the Greek way of saying Edom. And that sword is talking about the missiles. When those missiles go up, they're going to be directed towards, Babylon, America. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. Verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with the blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and these lambs and goats pretty much represents, these wicked Israelites, and of course these Edomites, and these different nations that are in the midst of here. When this happens, y'all gonna be, in that fire also, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, which is America, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea, so America, which is ran by the so-called white man. All right, this is that judgment spoken against you. So prophecy proves that the so-called white man is Esau, man. These women trying to disprove, that the white man is in Esau. They probably got an Edomite lover, at home. And they're trying to seek sympathy for him, seek salvation for him. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. All right, this is a beautiful book, man. This pretty much, goes into, this double Esau, man. This is Obadiah, verse 3. Matter of fact, I'm going to start from verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent from among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And when it says I have made thee small among the heathen, when you go into that word, small, pretty much means, insignificant. Because Esau is not looked at, as anything, pretty much these nations, take Esau as a joke now. Back then, they used to fear Esau. All right, the so-called Japanese, they used to fear the so-called white man. All right, so-called Chinese, they used to fear the so-called white man. They don't anymore, man. All right, it's because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has made Esau insignificant among the heathen, man. These nations are starting to despise Esau, man. And that's a sign of his powership being diminished. Verse 3, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see, that's another thing proving that the white man is Esau. They're very proud, man. All right, just look how they boast against the Most High and His Son. All right, they're talking about transhumanism, talking about what they're gonna do. That's the pride of their heart, which has clearly deceived them. Esau really think that, he's going to exceed the Most High. All right, that he's going to do, these elites really think that they're going to carry out their plans and, a total world domination, chip the world and, do what they going to do, man. That's the pride of their heart. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? And the eagle, that's a major symbol, all right, of the so-called white man, Esau, man. They love that eagle. You know, the Greeks had it, the Romans had it, you know, these Americans have it. And I want to say, you know, I want to say the Germans had it too. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I want to say they had the eagle too, man. But these were all so-called white people, you know. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And they did do that when, you know, they went to the upper atmosphere. They got their satellites up there, man. You know, their nest is among the stars, man. Okay, so that proves that the so-called white man is Esau, man. You know. Let's get this scripture real quick. This scripture that came to mind in the book of, let's go to Joel, because that one is another one that came to mind. Another one linking our Edom to Egypt, or Edom to America, because Egypt is spiritually America, or America is spiritual Egypt. Salaki, slip of the tongue. America is spiritual Egypt, and you can read that in Romans 11, Joel 3:19. It says, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. You know, so you see how the Lord links Egypt and Edom together. That's because Edom would be in rulership, all right, over spiritual Egypt. All right, once again, America being at spiritual Egypt, which is clearly being ran by the so-called white man. Okay, and their judgment is coming for what they did to the Lord's people. Judah, being the so-called Negroes, was mistreated here in America, man. All right, all kinds of atrocities were done unto them. You know, so you know there's judgment coming for that. But that was pretty much the point. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, I say Shalom.